Well, hello, Grasshoppers. Welcome to the Bot Signal. Automated engagement? Isn't that an oxymoron? What is she talking about now? Listen, my friends, it's not an oxymoron the way I do it. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what I mean by that phrase and how I do some of that automated engagement and how you can do it too. Before that is this. If you don't know me, my name is RJ Redden. Entrepreneurs hire me to skyrocket their engagement because most feel like they're shouting into a black hole online, or they are a carbon copy of everybody else and they can't get traction to save their lives. So I create epic engagement experiences that get people to click that button, connect with you, and convert like crazy. Bottom line, it is all about how to turn a cold lead into a hot prospect in a minimum amount of time. So, darlings, let's get into this because it is, it's very important that we get on with the show. Sorry, I had a screen come up during my little presentation there and it was just throwing me off. Hey, Ed, good morning. And Maya made me, good morning too. So talking about that automated engagement, what do I even mean by that? What I mean is that there's a certain amount of engagement that you can take care of that is valuable for your people, that gives them just the kind of value and answers they're looking for at just the right time. There is a certain amount of that you can help process the people, help figure out what it is that they value. You can do all of that and then set that aside to run on, I won't say autopilot, because autopilot kind of gives the connotations that you never have to touch it again. Of course you're going to touch it again. You're going to touch all those conversations again if they qualify to be one of your people. You're also going to be touching all of those questions that people are asking that you didn't have a previous answer for. There's some learning moments in there, but you can automate real engagement. Engagement leads to connections. Connections lead to conversations. Conversations lead to sales or partnerships, collaborations, what have you. And so that's what I mean when I say automated engagement. It really seems like one of those phrases that just causes a huge disconnect. How do you, if you're engaging with people, how are you automating that? It's not, it's not that it does take a bit of work. I'll tell you that. So knowing who your people are, knowing who you're targeting, knowing exactly what they value, giving them that value, following up with them about that value, inviting them to a conversation. These things can all be done in an automated way. Bots are great. Bots are great for that. But sometimes I have noticed at the very beginning of the relationship, at the very beginning of somebody's eyeballs getting on your stuff, if you throw that into a bot right away, sometimes you are missing an opportunity. Sometimes you are, it used to be people would see a bot and they were like, oh, what is this magnificence? Oh my God. Now pretty much everybody knows what's going on. You know what I'm saying? There's the novelty of them has rubbed off. Now, they're incredibly flippin' useful. But sometimes at the very start of the relationship, I have found that there are other tools that work just as well or perhaps even better because They engage the people, and we're not taking them to an environment that they're not familiar with. Sometimes I've noticed on the chatbot landing pages, and you know that I set those up everywhere all the time, and I think that they're freaking awesome. But I don't know if I'm recommending them necessarily. And if you don't know, a chatbot landing page is just when you land on a page and the thing, what's on there is a chatbot. That it starts running and having a conversation with you right away. Some people love it. They think it's super neat. Some people are like, what's happening now? So for the what's happening now, folks, there are different solutions that can work to draw people into that conversation. So let me catch up on the comments here. Engagement's what I'm working to build. Hey, Teresa, good to see you this morning. So, grasshoppers, you can create that engaging messaging. Now, I have a lot of shows on messaging. I have a lot of shows on it. There's a lot to consider there. The cool thing is, if you are setting up your engagement messaging, there's a lot to set up, but you only have to do it once. You only have to do it once. And then it's just there for you, and it's working. So it's kind of beautiful. It's kind of like, I have always been really good at systems. I have always been really good at going into a place, and this is what I used to do when I worked in corporate America a long time ago in a land far away. And I used to go into a place and I'd be hired to do one thing, but I'd always be watching the computer systems, because that is a great place to automate, to look at what the process is, and to go, well, if we did these couple of extra steps in the beginning, we could skip these 6 on the end. I've been good at that forever. I have no idea why. When my mom wanted me to be quiet, she would hand me, I am not kidding you, a ball of string that had a bunch of knots in it and tell me to go unravel it. Of course, I'll be busy for 6 hours. I'll forget to eat if you give me that problem. And to me, automation is kind of where that knot has ended up in my life, where I can look at people, I can look at their systems, and I can say, here's where it is. Here's where your funnel is leaking. Here's where your customer journey goes off the rails. Here's where it all is. So for me, the automated part of the engagement is, it takes a lot of work. You have to think around every corner. You have to think about, what are the problems that people might have right here? What are the questions that people might have right here? Sometimes, if you are very, very new at that process, you're going to want to get a buddy. Maybe somebody who's in business with you, maybe somebody who does it professionally, maybe just a part of your target market who's willing to sit down and have a cup of coffee with you. But talking out those different questions that they may have at certain points, because if you made it, if it's your baby, you're going to look at it way differently than everybody else. Trust me, I know this. This is why when I write a bot, my team goes over it. This is why when they write a bot, then they go over it. There's always a second set of eyeballs on everything. It's because when it's your baby, when you have written that copy, especially if you've done it, if it took you a while, or if it was a difficult project for you, it's your baby. You're going to ascribe a whole lot more value, and you're going to be blind to where people fall off the edge because they don't know what's going on. So it's a little bit more work at the beginning. The automated engagement is, because you've got to set up that messaging. You've got to think about all the places that they could go and all the things that could be happening. But once you set that up into a system where you can check on the results daily, weekly, whatever you want, then that system, that engagement is just running. It's just running. You don't have to worry about outreach. You don't have to worry about all of those other things. The system just runs. And, everybody's client journey is different. So, I don't mean to generalize too much, but I want to talk to you about what if you had a client getting system that just ran, and that every once in a while you'd have to maybe go answer a question or something. But what if you had something that was just happening, and it didn't need constant tweaks, and it didn't need, you don't need to, okay, this isn't working, I'm going to reinvent the wheel. No, my friends, my grasshoppers, my darlings, you do not have to do that. You do not have to go and reinvent everything all of the time. What you need is an engagement system at that very beginning, the very beginning of the relationship. Some people would call it the top of the funnel. But that's what I'm talking about. And you can absolutely do that with bots. Bots are super great at that, but you can also do it with video. You can also do it using some of the tools that you might have in your arsenal right now. Engagement is the thing. Engagement is the thing that keeps people coming back, that keeps people referring people back to you. If you can put personalization, gamification in there, boom, sweet. Because that's what people are looking for, especially right now. Hey, it's not the brightest times out there. You know what I'm talking about, people. And what we need right now, and what we desperately need to provide for each other, is a little lightheartedness and a little hope. Why not? Why not? Is it going to hurt? I don't think it's going to hurt. Well, unless you're against hope. I don't know. Anyway, that's really where the heart of it is at. That people right now, if you are a leader in your community, you are called at this moment to stand up, to offer people some hope and some positivity, even though we have some big unresolved problems in public health and society. We've got some big unsolved problems, and we don't need to ignore that, and we don't need to, shy away from it. But what we need to do is provide the people that follow us a little bit of hope, a little bit of help, and keep shining that light. This will be over at some point. I don't know when it'll be over, but it will be over at some point. And the people who are going to take off are the people that led, the people that were strong during a crisis, the people who showed people that, yeah, we've taken some hits lately, but we don't have to go down. We can get right back up and try it again. Entrepreneurs, baby. It's what we're all about. This is I'm currently on, I think, business number 4. I've been doing this since actually, when I was a small child, in grade school, I had a business on the side. I sold candy, in school. Now, I did get caught eventually, but my mom didn't care, so it was fine. Anyway, that was my first business. It didn't go stunningly well, but it went well enough, and I really loved it. So let me catch up on the comments here. Want one of those auto startup conversations. Oh yeah, perfect. Welcome to your new platform. Could set up a welcome bot. Always set up a welcome bot. Oh, they solve so many problems. Welcome bots set people's expectations. Welcome bots give an awesome impression of you, your class, your platform, whatever it is that you're introducing people to. It gives an awesome first impression. If you can make them laugh, if you can get into their hearts a little bit, so be it. A welcome bot is the easiest way to do so. Very good. So let's talk about creating a system that puts engagement on repeat. So we talked a little bit about engagement here at the beginning. We talked a little bit about some things that you can put in there, some tools that you can use. Now let's talk about making it a system, making it something that runs while you are doing other things. Not to say that getting leads one by one isn't important. Some of you are in a business where you absolutely need to do that. You're dealing with super high ticket sales. You're dealing with establishing trust one-on-one. Some of you deal with other people's money. That's a huge trust thing. So and we're actually having a show on trust later on this week. So make sure that you come back 10 o'clock Central, weekdays, people. And so we're going to do a little bit more about trust later on. But setting up a system that allows you to be efficient with your time. Time is very valuable, my friends. Some of us have more time on our hands than we wish to have. I get it. I've been there. I ain't there now, I'll tell you that. Some of us, have very little time. But for me, I don't have caveats on how I want to spend my time. I have this one caveat that says I want to spend my time doing valuable things. In the comments, if you're listening, give me a yes if you're there with me. If you understand what I'm talking about. I don't care what I spend my time doing. I just want it to be spent doing valuable things. If it's digging a ditch, well, hopefully they wouldn't choose me right away. But as long as that's going to be a valuable experience, that digging that ditch for me or someone else, all right, I'll dig the ditch. That's fine. But for me, it's the repetitive stuff. It's the, okay, let me answer this question for the 1,000th time. Okay, let me explain this again. Let me get through the same 7 questions that we would ask each other if we were standing together at a networking event. One more time. That's the stuff that I'm talking about automating. That's the stuff that I'm talking about setting up a system for. So what would your basic system consist of? Basic engagement system. And I mean, we're talking real basic, but you want to flow through there. You want to, and a lot of times for my clients, I'll sit down and do a map with them. I'll just sit down and do a map. Okay, where are people getting in? Okay, what are their choices once they get in? Okay, how are they flowing? What are the numbers on this? Which, I'll ask things. I'll ask data points like, open rate and all of that kind of stuff. But I just get it out all on a piece of paper. And I map that client journey out and ask for the numbers along the way. What that does is it allows people to see. It allows people to see where the leaks in the bucket are. It allows people to see where people are dropped off. You see, many, many times, my friends, what we do is we think about these things. Super great. Love it. Love it when we think about these things. However, it's a totally different perspective, and you can get totally different answers when you actually write it down, draw it out on a piece of paper, whichever one you want to do. It's all cool, all cool. Mapping out that client journey, looking at, okay, how well did this operate? How they call it conversion in the marketing world. How well did this convert? How well did it convert? Did some of it lead to another relationship with a person that is just absolutely priceless because they refer me all the time? You got to add those things in there. It's not just about conversion. It's not just about how did I build my bottom line today? Listen, remember a few months back before COVID, I was on a plane every single month. And my wife would ask me, okay, what did you bring home? Did you bring home any deals? Who hired you at this thing? And sometimes I would say, well, this person and this person. And sometimes I would say, nobody hired me at that thing, but I made some awesome relationships. Case in point, somebody that I met a year ago in Atlanta hired me 2 months ago. That was not an immediate return, but that person remembered me and went, I want you. I want you. And that's important. It's important to remember that the conversion numbers, the data, that's not everything. If your intent is to build relationships with your marketing, which I hope it is, if your intent is to build relationships with your marketing, the numbers aren't going to give you a full picture. But I mark it down. I mark it down right on that customer journey map, where an interaction at a certain place at a time led to, or in a bot at an event led to a relationship that isn't necessarily paying you money, but is giving you dividends beyond measure. I write that stuff down. I write it all down. You've got to have that flow. You've got to have that visualization. You got to have a plan. And the second thing that you need to have is some sort of reporting mechanism so that you can look at the numbers every once in a while. You got to be able to look at the numbers every once in a while. Again, keeping in mind that a formed relationship, a partnership, a collaboration is indeed golden nuggets that you need to count as well. But you got to be able to look at those numbers every once in a while, because your customer journey is not going to be perfect the second that you release it upon to the world. You're going to need to tweak that system a little bit at first. And that's okay. That's okay. Because none of us can predict what other people can think or are going to think. Listen, I have been with Megan, my wife, for 8 years. I think I know everything that she's going to think. I think I know things that she's going to say. But that's the thing. When I actually go ask the question, often she has a completely different answer that I could not have predicted. Hey, if I can't do that with somebody I am that close to, how am I going to predict anonymous stranger number 361's behavior? I'm not. Your client journey is not going to be perfect the first time that you put it out there. Engagement with others, especially two-way engagement with others, demands that they have some input too. Those things are awfully hard to predict. So, what I'm saying here is that you've got to have some measurement in order to look at things objectively, in order to tweak things, in order to make a system run like a well-oiled machine. Because at the end of the day, you need a well-oiled machine that pops out engaged and qualified prospects so that you can connect, get in that conversation, and move that relationship along to wherever it wants to go. We all need that like we need a heartbeat. If you're an entrepreneur, you need that. And you can get that. You absolutely can. So automated engagement, I hope that I've made it more clear to you what this concept is. I almost called it bottomated engagement, but people don't understand what the word bottomation means, basically because I made it up. Anyway, that's what automated engagement is. It's developing that, it's first of all refining your message. We've had a few shows on message, and we'll continue to do so because message absolutely matters, and message changes all the time, doesn't it? As we adopt new things, as we change and grow as companies, message changes. And so we've had, first of all, have that good message. Second of all, you need to set up some systems. You need to set up some systems of engagement. So that is about all from me today. I am so happy to be here with you. I celebrate all of you. I celebrate the folks that come to watch this show. Hey, tell your friends, because we have got some crazy stuff going on. Black belt bots, we have got some crazy stuff going on heading toward the end of the year here, and we are going to celebrate like it's 1999. And we're going to not even choose to do that on New Year's Eve. We're just going to do that whenever the heck we want to do it. That's the way we do here at Black Belt Bots. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up for you. We've got a lot of great shows coming up also. This week, every weekday at 10 o'clock, we are here. We are doing the stuff. We are playing around and having a whole lot of fun. So want you to join us. And also we did launch a community. We launched a community called the Engagement Rocket Ship. It is very low priced. I set the bar as low as I possibly could. It's $7, $7 a month. And you get privy to all of the engagements and systems and stuff that I'm doing and stuff that I'm doing with my clients, and you get to stay on top of it all. It's a much better tool to plan your world domination with than if you were trying to do it alone. So don't do it alone, Grasshopper. Join us at the Engagement Rocket Ship. You can find us at engagementrocketship.com. And with that, I'm going to say bye for now. Hey, take care of each other out there. And just take care of each other out there. We just never know when things happen and people get taken away. I attended a memorial yesterday that yanked my heart out, threw it on the street. Possibly a steamroller then ran over it. Bald man giggling at the wheel. That's just what happened. Okay. That people are taken from us too early sometimes. So want you to take care of yourself. Want you to take care of each other, and I'll see you in a bot.